little bit of a status update. I've been working on getting the scene loader and scene streaming working. So what I've completed over the last couple of days is that, actually just show you. All right, so in the game here, what I have on the left is the universe scene, which has a streamer container. In the streamer, we have some major streams and some minor streams. So we're calling the terrain the major stream, and then a rock medium would be a minor stream. There might be, those are like medium-sized objects. There might be small or large-sized objects as well, that basically they stream at different different radiuses around the player, or different qualities, or we might actually have apply a low poly shader to things that are far away or large or something like this. Then there's monitored objects. Basically, if you look on the right-hand side here, you can say the monitored objects is the facade player. For medium and for terrain, it's also the facade player. But for test terrain, it's the facade player and it's the home placeholder, which is placed at 0, 0, 0. So what this means is that these first two will only load and stream content around the facade player. The third one will do it around the facade player and the home. So we'll always keep anything that's at 0, 0, 0 in place, no matter where the player is. Then we have the world mover, which you put your streams there, identify what your streams are, you identify what your player is, and your facade player. So what it will do is it will move the player. When you move the player, you hit your keyboard input, it will move the player. Then the world mover will detect that, and it will move the facade player. And then when the player exceeds the position of the size, which is like 1,000 units, then the player will return back to basically 0, 0, 0. Technically, it will actually subtract the max unit size, which is 1,000, from whatever it has. So if the player suddenly goes to position 3,000, it would bring it back to 0. If it went to position 3,500, it would bring it back down to 500. So it leaves the difference. Let's actually show what that looks like. Here, if I move forward, this is just some demo thing. So if I move forward, we can see that medium, 1005, 1006, 2007, these are loading in. And then if I move backwards, they unload. And that is exactly what we want. That works here. Now you can see on the left, these test terrain 0, 0, 0s. This is because our home placeholder is there. And I think, I haven't tested this yet, but I think if I were to change the position of this, then it would despawn those test terrains. Let's change it. And there we go. If I change it back, and there we go. It will load them. So on the left-hand side, I have these two arrows here, these reloads. These are just to go to different positions. So this one is to position 1,000, which is 1,000 times 1,000 kilometers. So it's 1,000,000 kilometers away. And this one here is at 0, 0, 0. So if I go back to 0, 0, 0, right, we see it's loading. It's bringing in our floating islands. It's bringing in our castle and some other stuff. So I'll just fly around here and check it out. I got some test terrain here. Let's check out some of our scenes. See what else we got here. Got a city over here. So this is all inside of a rock medium. Let's see. Got some weird stuff going on with the LOD, the land and distance. So the one bug that I haven't quite fixed yet is basically this player. See if we can get the player. Okay, so this player is at negative 300, 1,100, 157. Okay, so if I'm in the game and I move myself up, you can see the numbers are going higher. Let's say for the Y, it's 1,600. When it gets to like 2,000, it's going to set that back down to 0. And then what it'll do is it will move the world. Every other object will get moved down 2,000. But for some reason, the LOD, the land and distance, will stay at 0, 0, 0. So that's where the real player is actually going to end up, because we subtract the 2,000. So we get back to 0 on the y-axis, which means the LOD will appear to be right on top of the player. That's like the last bug that I can see. Like just right there, you can see now I'm at 300, right? The virtual position, as in like where it is in comparison to everything else, is at 2,000, but the actual position of the player is at 300. And there's the LOD for the rocks. And if we keep going back to 2,000 again, it's going to do it again. And rocks are right there now. That's the last thing I got to fix. And then things despawn because we're 5,000 away. Things despawn after 5,000, which is basically just five times our 1,000 units. And that's it. You can come back, just click the button, come back down here, and that'll load everything that is at 0, 0, 0. So the cool thing is what we can do with that is, one, we can teleport the player anywhere to any position, and it's going to load the correct content in the world. And two, we can put little like placeholders around the player that move with the player or in the next scene. So if we know that the player is going to go to a certain part of the world, we can just put a placeholder there and it will automatically start loading what's going to go there. And then it would be instantaneous for the player to load that when that happens. For instance, if there's one place where you can teleport to 2 different places, if we put the placeholders in both of those places, when the player actually clicks on the item, the perceived performance is great.